Sweet mother of mercy, your Denver Broncos just mollywopped America's team to win their fifth straight, despite the fact that their best defensive player was out the bulk of this game. They hold Dak Prescott and the best wide receivers in football to 7 measly points, so much so that they end up benching Dak Prescott with 7 minutes left in this game, and it's even better than you think. Sean continues to sweep through the month of October, and the Broncos are set to make a deep playoff run. If you're new to the channel, we've been calling this all along. The Broncos are good, and we've got a ton to break down. Helps me in the algorithm out a ton. If you like the Broncos, would you smash that like and subscribe button? We knew going into this game, Sean Payton already is the winningest coach in the month of October. Do not panic when he has a slow start, because he is 10 steps ahead, and it takes a long time for him to start having moves to counter your moves, and he gets certain packages and personnel on tape and then has answers for that. Sean Payton is playing an entirely different game, and watch out when he gets going, and the Denver Broncos have just gotten going, and we just swept through the month of October, something even the biggest diehard fans looking at this schedule being like, oh, we go to Philly, and then we fly all the way to London, and then we are the only team in NFL history to come back without a bye week and play a hot Giants team. Like, no one would have imagined that this is how the Broncos season was going, and it is absolutely phenomenal. Adding on top of that, just even my non-Broncos friends were texting us like, why do you not wear these jerseys all the time? They look so sick. The Broncos continue to be undefeated when they wear their throwbacks, and we wear them again on a Thursday night in just a couple of weeks against the pitiful Raiders, who make this Cowboys team look good. That just tells you. And one of the coolest things to me is not only did the Broncos shut down CeeDee Lamb and obviously George Pickens without Pat Surtain for the bulk of that game, which is a storyline we're definitely going to just follow all week long, as we know we play a tough Texans team next week. But they also were doing it because of a bogus suspension to Dre Greenlaw. And so we were really worried, how did the Broncos stop Javonte Williams, who is the hottest running back in football? And they held him to 41 yards rushing the ball, which is just you take that. That's what Javonte looked like here. And the Denver Broncos, yes, we have so much to talk about the offensive explosion. And this offense is actually stinking good right now. And it's not just because the Cowboys are bad. Sean Payton has schemes and answers for whatever you throw out there. One of the things that made me so excited is this is what happens when you have a number one defense go up against the number one offense. What game scares you on our schedule going forward? Because you see what our defense can do. There's not a better offense than the Dallas Cowboys, and we just held them to 17 points, and Bo Nix and this team is going to score 17 points in every game. I'm positive of that. It is just incredibly impressive to be 6-2 right now. We are sitting at the top of the AFC with a game lead there, knowing that our future is all out in front of us, and it just absolutely chaps my butt to know that the Broncos really could be undefeated right now if it's not for the most bogus leveraging call in NFL history on a game-winning field goal against the Colts. They gave the Colts their toughest matchup of the year and really should have beat the Colts in Indy, and then we played the Chargers super tough, and they win on a game-winning field goal as time expired. But it's not time to plan the Super Bowl parade, but let's at least map out the route. As Will Peterson says, I couldn't agree more. Bo Nix, please stop saying sophomore slump. If I hear it again, I'm going to lose my ever-loving mind, because Bo Nix showed he is an absolute baller. You just take a look here. Over these last 5 quarters of football, Bo Nix has thrown 8 touchdown passes. Tell me another quarterback who's done that. He looks better than anyone when he is slinging it, and his stats today were exactly what you want to see. I loved the balanced approach that we had, that we tried to run the ball. That is the answer, and I think Sean Payton knows that's the answer. He wasn't trying to get cute with it. This wasn't one of those games where Bo Nix throws the ball 50 times, yet he still can be absolutely lethal. He had 4 touchdown passes and probably should have had 5. He hit Courtland Sutton once in the end zone, and then there was a really bogus pick play called that even Tony Romo said he didn't agree with, and then you hit Courtland Sutton right in the chest plate for a walk-in touchdown again. So Bo Nix having 4 touchdown passes, 250 yards. He looked like what Sean Payton said, and everyone said Sean Payton is drinking his own supply. He looks like one of the best quarterbacks in football. He looked absolutely phenomenal. You take away that very first drive where I think there must have been a miscommunication with Pat Bryant and Bo Nix, because that was either the worst throw I've ever seen Bo Nix make, or he was expecting obviously Pat Bryant to come and just do a little dig route rather than run the slant, because he threw it way behind him right into the arms of a no-name dude. But after that, you saw Bo Nix and this offense go on to score touchdowns on 6 of the next 8 possessions, and really it should have been 7 of the last 8 if you don't have that pass interference call in the missed catch by Courtland Sutton. Just a phenomenal day. You're looking at 117 passer rating. I think PFF is finally going to start give Bo Nix the love that he deserves, and it is just absolutely phenomenal. Now we got to give the defense some absolute love, and I loved how it was a coming out party for a bunch of young guys who we've been banging the table saying are phenomenal, and now finally the rest of the NFL gets to see. I told us in one of my first videos that kind of like went viral, was talking about how I thought Tillman was going to be a steal, getting him out of the UFL. And then last year he had like 5 sacks and played like an absolute baller. And I love how Vance Joseph is in his bag. And so on this interception from Dak Prescott, this game is absolutely over. But he shows pressure coming from this side, and it's the exact same play that we got with Nick Bonito in coverage against the Philadelphia Eagles, where he shows pressure here, and you never expect a defensive lineman to drop back into coverage. Well, guess who did? This house drops back into coverage and just picks off Dak Prescott. He never expected a defensive lineman to be there. His ball skills were absolutely wild, and then just to see like his get up and go, once he gets up and goes, like this boy is gone, and you just see like the Denver Broncos stepped on these guys' throat, and they completely gave up on this game. And all we heard from Tony Romo coming into this game, like it was the national game of the week, you guys. This was on every TV in America, essentially, unless you were in one very small area that got the Colts game. This was their pinnacle game, and they did everything they could to keep the Cowboys in it. Tony Romo went in saying, like, this is basically a playoff game for the Dallas Cowboys, and you just saw what happened when a force like the Denver Broncos goes up against a bad defense. They are going to carve them up. Other thing I absolutely loved was other rookies absolutely balling out. Jhadae Barron is getting worked into this defense very, very slowly, because that's what Vance Joseph and Sean Payton do. They are slow rollers when it comes to putting guys in. Like we know Troy Franklin, who had 2 sick touchdowns that we're going to look at in a second. He didn't even dress the first 2 games of last season. Sean Payton does not put rookies out there, and what we've been doing with Jhadae Barron is putting him on essentially tight ends. And again, Jhadae Barron can guard any tight end in football, and you're looking at him guarding the actual best right now, and that's like, I don't think he's actually the best, but statistically, Ferguson has been the best tight end in football, and Jhadae Barron just steps up, guards that absolutely perfectly. Dak Prescott shouldn't have thrown that. They could have kicked a long field goal there, but you're looking at 2 interceptions from young guys. This defense is fantastic, and it's just going to get better. Can you imagine what this defense looks like with a healthy Pat Surtain the entire game, not hobbled, with a healthy Dre Greenlaw all of this game? It truly is going to be the best defense in football, and I love it. Now we got to talk about the offensive side of the ball. Loved seeing that every single touchdown was thrown by a first or second year player on this team. This team is going to grow with Bo Nix. Bo Nix is a second-year player and should not be playing this good, should not have this type of pocket presence. He does not get rattled. He's heard everyone say that he's having a sophomore slump, and he just says, okay, watch this, bro. I'm about to show out in front of the world right here, and that's exactly what he does. Love this ball placement here, and Tony Romo was like, oh, Jim, look at that, Jim. Like, just gushing about this ball placement. Just throws an absolute dot where only he could catch it, and way to go, rookie, stepping up. You probably ran a wrong route on that one interception, and you completely, let's see if it shows it in slow motion here. It doesn't, but that ball just goes exactly only where he could catch it, and he caught it, and Bo Nix connecting with him, and then seeing, can we stop, like, saying we should have drafted Cam Scadaboo instead of RJ Harvey, as he has 3 tutties today and looked phenomenal. And I loved Pat Bryant hitting us all with the mile high salute, because he gets it, because he's one of them ones. So when everyone said we overdrafted Pat Bryant and, oh, he could have fallen to the 6th round, and Sean Payton said, yeah, he reminds me of Michael Thomas, we are starting to see why. And Sean Payton said last week that he has started to figure out not what to call, but who. He said it's not about the what. The reason our offense had been stalling wasn't because of the what, the play calls. It was about the who. And he's been in this period of testing out, like, who are my Joes out there that I need to have, who I know are going to ball and show up. And he found those guys. We loved how we saw Pat Bryant, we saw RJ Harvey use that 1-2 punch, seeing J.K. Dobbins go for 100 yards on the ground. Phenomenal showing there. And then speaking of yardage on the ground, just love to see how the Denver Broncos went out and blocked. They wanted this game more. And on paper, you could have seen them be very, very reluctant to want this game more, right? They could easily be thinking they're the best and having these big heads like, hey, we have one of the longest home winning streaks in football, which they did at 8 games. Now it's 9. We have a 4-game win streak right now. We've played good teams. Like, we could just coast through this. We just won this emotional game. Sean Payton talked about the record of teams coming off emotional game, and it was horrible. It makes these things turn into trap games, and this was never a trap game for your Broncos. And loved seeing RJ Harvey here. His speed and power receiver is just an absolute difference maker, and I don't want to hear anyone else say that the Broncos should have drafted Omarion Hampton or Ashton Genty, because you see exactly what RJ Harvey can be, both as a receiver and as a quarterback in the Wildcat, where he scored one of those touchdowns. It was just a phenomenal day. And then I love Bo Nix's pocket presence here. Just got to give Troy Franklin some love on this catch here. He did have one drop on the sideline, but for the most part, our receivers caught balls that they should. Cortland Sutton did have a drop as well, but just seeing that ball placement there over top of an extended middle linebacker just to hit him, and this was not his first read, and just seeing the patience that he has right here as he pump fakes, and he's not doing what he did early as a rookie, where he tried to bail out of the pocket. He's standing firm, and when Bo Nix's feet are planted, he throws absolute dimes. And every single quarterback guru that I've talked to, when they talked about Bo Nix's struggle early in the year, they talked about how he got too happy with his feet and was always trying to move. Bo Nix set his feet and planted. He is building off of the confidence of winning that just crazy game that we had last week, and now the Broncos have the wind at our backs. We are in first place in the AFC. We have won games that we shouldn't have won. We have blown out teams who have the best offense in football. The Broncos are making a deep run in the month of January. Clear out your schedule, because the Broncos are going deep in the playoffs, and they're going to Santa Clara, Broncos country. We got so much to believe in. Let's go!